From America to Australia and everywhere in between, we bring you inspiring, informative interviews with accomplished South Asian diaspora spanning every field and walk of life. Welcome to the Desi Buzz Talk Show with your host, Dr. Shabana Parvez. Welcome to the show. My guest today is joining me from the UK, Miss Salma Bi. She is a grassroots cricket champion, and over the last 15 years, she's devoted her time to making grassroots sports, in particular cricket, much more inclusive. She was born in Pakistan and moved to the UK at the age of 4. And during her time in the last 15 years, she's encouraged over more than 1,000 girls to get involved in grassroots sports. She was a captain of the first all-Asian futsal team in Birmingham, and she founded the first all-Asian women's cricket team. She also has gone on to become one of the very few female Asian umpires in the UK, and she's a senior cricket coach and director of a sports company. She's played at the county level for Worcestershire, Northamptonshire, and MCC. And as if that wasn't enough, she actually is a full-time hemodialysis nurse at a hospital in Birmingham, where she provides care for acute and chronic patients with kidney failure. So it is not surprising that Selma has been awarded a British Empire Medal in the New Year's Honours because of her service to cricket and diversity in sport. So thank you so much, Selma, for coming on today. Thank you for joining me, and welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to join. Thank you, and assalamu alaikum.
So tell us a little bit, Salma, about your early life and what shaped your journey into sports, healthcare, and community leadership.
Yeah, it's a story I always like going back to. It's like being raised up in a household where a majority of the boys are playing the sports and they're playing in the garden. I grew up watching a lot of the cricket on TV, had no idea women's cricket was even in existence. Just picked up the game there and then, and I thought, okay, this is something nice. This is something that makes you feel valued and empowered, and it sets you goals. I really enjoyed it. I went to an all-girls school.
Mm-hmm.
I was picked there when we went to a game against Denstone College, and it was there was county coaches and just offered me this opportunity to play further cricket, and that was county. I had no idea county existed or club cricket existed. I think a lot of the struggles started when I went back and told my family, look, I'm being selected for a team, and
Mm-hmm.
that's outside school hours, outside commitments where it's not going to be easy to get to. There'll be a
Mm-hmm.
distance, and this is where my family needs to step in and help me to make it a reality. But I think the response in hindsight was difficult because they wanted to protect me. They felt like we've never seen this done before. No one else has decided to take on cricket as a profession, and for you to play outside of hours, it's really difficult because my dad came to this country to work and raise a family, and he worked really hard. He came from a sporting background. He's a kabaddi player and a weightlifter, so he's
Oh.
done all these
Mm-hmm.
different things in life, and he's seen challenges. We've seen him bring trophies home and all
Mm-hmm.
these titles, and whilst he later down his years he's retired, and now he'll be the special guest at the festivals, and also he'll be referee. So he understands what it's like to be up against different people, and when you make a name for yourself, how hard it is to break through with that change. So I think he wanted to protect me a lot more so than say, look, you want to play cricket, but where is it going to get to you? And I think over the years, I had to prove it to my family. Look, sports is something really good for me. It'll bring me a lot of goodness, but also for yourself. But I will also prove it to you that I will continue my education. So I went to a school, I went to college, I did my university admission without their knowledge, just to say, look, I want to go to university, I want to further my education. So, with getting into sports was one challenge, but also to pursuing my career and saying that I want to continue my education was another. Fortunately, they bite into it. They said, "Well, we feel like she's quite a stubborn girl, but also she is proving that look, there's nothing wrong in playing sports. There's nothing wrong in having an education." And for them to then see that, look, okay, she's making a difference not only to us, to everyone, to people around her lives.
Mm-hmm.
I got into county cricket. I really, really enjoyed that. I think I missed the first two trial dates for Worcestershire. I played a lot of club cricket, and I played a lot alongside a lot of the younger girls, so I could see their family would be there, watch them. They have kit provided for them, whilst I was just managing, or my coach would pick me up and take me to the games. These are things that you get on with, and you say, okay, you know what? I still appreciate that I'm getting to play cricket, because at home, I'll make sure that everything is done before I leave to go to my game. It was a whole day out. So it was a lot of patience for myself and my family to have
Mhm.
when I was committing to a sport like this. But I think I proved it wrong to say that, look, it wasn't a waste of time, because I got into Worcestershire County, and that was time when history was being made. No other Asian girl was in the county. There were Pakistani players, but not a British Pakistani cricketer. So for me to get in, it just made history. It was a change in the game. It was to prove that, look, I've just gone one step higher. I got into county. And again, that was another difficult time where I'm proving my point or trying to get my name on the scorecard. You're only given the opportunities that you can get, and I just took them
Right.
on. I took them on and took my wickets, had my runs where I could. And there's times that it'll get you down, because this sport is also isolating me for the fact that I always had to prove a good game. I had to get my name on the scorecard, and to have a good game, it also means you qualify to get selected for the next game. So you'd always have that. But that was a healthy challenge and a competition that you must live in. I think it's a great skill to have as well, to know that you've got to be ready for what's next. You've got to ready to face challenging situations and ready to work under pressure. And I took that on. I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed that. Okay, the times I didn't enjoy, but I came
Mhm.
back and thought, this is my asset. This is something I want to
Mhm.
do all my life. And so when I
Right.
started bringing the trophies and the medals home, that's when it
Mhm.
changed. My family said, "Oh,
Yeah.
okay, she's doing something. She's making a name for herself." And so
Mhm.
I think
So
that's
the
what they
family
see.
was a
That
big was definitely supportive when you started getting into that. Um,
yes,
yeah. Now, so is that what was the transition when you actually you were hemodialysis, you're a hemodialysis nurse, and then you're
yeah.
national award winning. You said you're bringing home these awards, and then you're a community leader. How did that transition happen between those two roles?
Oh, okay. So I always say my nursing, that career that I always had the passion for. I lost my mom when I was 9 years old, so
Oh.
it was just something that I would want to give back to my community, something that I would have done as a really weird feeling to know that if I had some skills in my life, I could have probably saved my mom. It was just something that as a child I thought, yes, I could have been that person that my mom would have been still alive. But it was like, okay, she's not dead, but how can I make her proud? How can I go on to do great things in life and
Hmm.
make a difference to other people's lives? And I always had the passion to work in the medical field. I specialized in hemodialysis, so patients without kidney functions. Absolutely enjoyed that. It was very nurse-led. I absolutely enjoyed that. But my nursing, my career, the work that I did, with that money and the income that I had, that paid for my sports.
Hmm.
Sports and cricket is you've got to invest a lot into it. You're
Hmm.
traveling, you're not always going to get a sponsorship, you're not going to get sports, you're not going to be known for what you do. Every game you'll play, you'll pay match fees, you'll pay membership fees.
Hmm.
All these come with something that you've got to commit to, and a sacrifice that I had to make. So my nursing, while I was thriving in my doing my medical studies and enjoying that and making working all these different crazy hours of shifts, that was paying towards my sports of playing cricket. But then after playing cricket at Lords, playing alongside the England women's team, training with them, getting the chance to bowl at the Pakistan women's side team when they were over in touring against Ireland. I had the privilege to know that, oh wow, I played a good amount of cricket. I was at one point selected by under 16 England selector, but I was more than 16 years old by this age. And it was just like fortunate that, okay, I had the chance to play at the MCC. I played again on the nursery ground at Lords. I played against Hong Kong, um, Japan. I played against the Australian touring side. These are really great highlights that I had in my life. But
Hmm.
I think one thing I thought, okay, I've done so much of me playing cricket, but how do I give this back? So whilst then I went on to do my coaching and my umpiring courses, these brought more income. These
Mm-hmm.
helped me to then continue and then pay for funds. And there it was then in 2011, we set up our CIC company, which is called Sporting Pathways. And uh, 15 years later on, we've done national and annual events. We've hosted the Indoor T10 Cricket World Cup. We've done dodgeball. We've done a futsal marathon, which is five-a-side football. We set a record of 10 hours and then we beat it by doing 20 hours. So girls from all over the country come together to play football and they love the idea that we'll beat our record of playing 20 hours. And the one that I've really been happy about and are passionate about delivering every year is called the 50. It's a softball tournament. It's a really fast-paced tournament. It's a good hype for it. I have lots of teams again traveling all over the country to come and take part, and we're taking part this month by the end of this month. So these are things that I've really enjoyed, where we've had ambassador programs, we've raised profile, supported other people along the way. In my nursing, I did my leadership course, I did my practice advocate course. So I continue to prove to people that people might say, oh, Salma's a nurse, but she plays so much cricket, she's not focused on her nursing. Or I'm a nurse, but I'm also playing my cricket, but she's not good at the sports and she's good at her nursing field. I didn't want anyone to ever think that, okay, I'm giving one field more importance. I wanted a balance, and Alhamdulillah, it's worked. It's worked when
Mm-hmm.
I can reflect that. I can say that, look, playing sports, it's about health and well-being. Me
Mm-hmm.
educating people about that, about how good sports, what it brings you, it's lovely because I come from a nursing background. And then looking after patients who have dialysis, who rely on a machine, they need to have their blood cleaned out, made me also reflect that we are very, very fortunate that we are not tied to a machine. We can walk out of hospital. After I've done my shift, there's more life out there. I can do more things. And why should we just complain about the smaller things in life? We should
Mm-hmm.
go on and embrace it and live the moment. And this is something that you want to teach the younger generation out there, that people will probably feel like that they're not patient enough. I mean, things didn't come easy for me, but I had to prove it that after a while, it took a long time, but when it came, it was all good. And
Mm-hmm.
especially the British Empire Medal.
Mm-hmm.
I got that in 2021. Somebody like me from Azad Kashmir, coming here at the age of 4 to have a British Empire Medal, have that title to my name, it just changed history altogether for not only me, but all my family.
Mm-hmm. That's what is the inspiration that made you dedicate your life to the cricket and to empowering women?
Um,
That
sorry.
is that
I
your
feel
mom? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel yeah, a lot of it is about losing my mom at the age of 9, and also knowing that life is so short. Life
Mm-hmm.
is so short, and I think you've got
Mm-hmm.
to make the most of the time that you
Yes.
have.
Yeah.
And I think that also at the same time, if my family, my dad especially, he gained that trust in me, I had to buy that trust in
Mm-hmm.
him to say, I won him over to say, there's nothing wrong with girls playing sports. There is a lot of
Mm-hmm.
stigmas around there.
Mm-hmm.
Until today, we have to fight this battle where we talk about women empowerment. Women
Right.
can only do this and that, or what we wear and how we
Right.
are perceived and our roles. But what's wrong with playing sports? What's wrong with having women leaders? What's wrong with
Mm-hmm.
having mentors and supporters of each other? And it's so nice when we work alongside each other, we guide each other for the greater good.
Mm-hmm.
And I absolutely love that, to come back to that, to know that actually being somebody of me, you can't write me off, even though I'm a
Right.
Pakistani background, a girl, a female, and now also a mother to 4 children, married. I
Amazing.
wanted to prove it to a lot of people that there should be nothing to stopping you apart from yourself stopping you from doing and achieving things in life. So we all get 12 hours, the same hours in a day.
Mm-hmm.
We can do something about it. It's really down to you what you make of your life.
Mm-hmm. That's basic. And you have obviously achieved so many and gotten so many medals. You just mentioned again the British Empire Medal. Yeah, that's among the multiple honors that you've received. What did it mean to you personally to get that medal?
I felt like it wasn't just for me. I felt like this is something for a lot of girls out there. I know that we've done sports sessions, we've had younger girls or women approach us, and they've taken part in a session to say, look, playing the sport is just an excuse of getting out the house.
Mm-hmm.
Coming here, socializing with the girls means everything to us. Coming back to something where they feel like they've been lost, they've been in a home for a long time, they've been expected to do the same tasks every day, and the day starts again the next day. So it's about those being a voice for those younger girls out there that while people might see just the highlights of my life, I have many failures in my life. I didn't get
Mm-hmm.
into the Warwickshire County. I wasn't able to coach straight away. I've not had the highest umpiring badges. And there's times where I also think I didn't get into the national side. So I started off with the sport. I started off a lot later than what we expect from the younger girls to
Mm-hmm.
start to get into the
Mm-hmm.
elite teams. So I had to prove it that actually I'm in a great position as an ambassador for women's sports, that let me prove it to people that if I can do it, so can you.
Mm-hmm. With the that's really very good, very inspiring. With the awards that you've had, you have 11 national awards, or not just the British Empire Medal. You've hosted over 50 national events. Out of all of those, is it the British Empire Medal, or which other achievement are you most proud of and why?
Definitely the British Empire Medal because we had
Mm-hmm.
the chance to go to the Buckingham Palace and
Wow.
visit. I mean, the Queen herself, Her Majesty was alive at that time, but
Mm-hmm.
she was in the palace, but not able to come out to the garden to see and pay respects. But it was Prince Charles at that time, King Charles and Camilla, who came out to the garden and did a meet and greet with all the recipients. So that was a lovely moment because my husband was with me,
Mm-hmm.
and it was so nice to have that day. But I think the moment where it really mattered and changed a lot for me because I was at a time in my life where I was going through a crisis and I was going to give up playing cricket altogether was 2009. And 2009, I was shortlisted for the British Asian Sports Awards. And this was the same night where Amir Khan, the boxer, world champion boxer, was also shortlisted. It was his national award. He won. And sorry, and that was the same night where I was given an award for the Outstanding Achievement Award, and Denise Lewis. I was at backstage, and Denise Lewis approached me and said, "I was on the panel. I voted for you. I saw your profile, and I was mesmerized. I was over the moon to see this young Asian brown girl." Making a difference in her community. Finally, we are getting to see the voices. And someone like Charlotte Edwards, who's a ex-England captain and now the women's coach, she also said to me, Salma, don't give up what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Please, because there'll be younger kids and girls out there watching what you do. And those were the words that just changed my life. And I thought,
Mm-hmm.
wow, I came away from London, driving back to Birmingham, thinking, wow. Yesterday, I was about to give up and put everything away and say, look, never again I'm playing sports. It's just not a good game when you know you have your tough days. But actually, I've got these role models, these personalities that want me to do more. They finally found that piece, that missing piece of the jigsaw.
Mm-hmm. So how did that? How did you create that? The All Asian Women's Inspirational Cricket Team. I mean, how did that come about when you created
Yeah,
that?
that wasn't just my idea. It was my really good friend Halima Khan, based in Yorkshire, in North England. She approached me and said, "Come on, I'm thinking about doing something." And at that time, she was running her initiative called Opening Boundaries, and she said, "I want to do something where every year we'll get this Asian team to play against either the Royal Air Force or the Royal Navy." And I said, "Okay, brilliant." And she said, "Well, with your network, could you source out the Asian girls?" And I said, "Okay, that's never happened before, but you know what? Let's look into this. We
Mm-hmm.
need to." We need to push more and more girls into playing cricket. And why can't we get it all 11 aside? There's always a little pickpocket on. There's one or two girls playing in each club, but we never see a full side. And it was nice. It was just like took us a couple of days. We approached a few girls, dropped them a message, and they said, you know what, we'll be honest. And it was so nice that we all got together and we played at Leeds Headingley. We had the access to the stadium and we played that game against a team. That was a good
Mm,
day.
that's great. And so, what about the county teams? And you were part of the cricket club, the Marylebone Cricket Club. How was that experience representing the county?
Yeah, so being selected for the Marylebone Cricket Club came through the Worcestershire County initiative, where the county said to me, if you've got to know someone on the MCC, come along and play for the club. And it was just so nice that over the years, if you can play for them, you'll become a member. So it was a bit more like spirit of the game. You're playing for the club, and you're not also just like playing. It's not about turning up and playing cricket, but it's against academy or universities. But it's about being a good advocate for the sport by playing in fair rules, where we are also looking at opposition and encouraging them to stay in the game. So I absolutely love that side of things, because I thought, okay, we'll play a declaration game. We'll probably not take so many wickets. We'll retire when we have to.
Hmm.
Again, making it a close game, because we want the opposition, the girls, to feel like they've had a really good game and they want to come back to the sport. And this is where I had the chance to play alongside a lot of the England cricketers. Someone like Claire Taylor was an ex-England captain, Danny White Hodge, who's now playing England. There was amazing other personalities that I've got to meet and greet through the MCC, and the MCC has given us great opportunities. I still play for them as a full-time member. So it's always nice that we're encouraging more and more girls to come play for that club.
That's great. And so now in your you're the director now of the what you Sporting Pathways CIC. How are you shaping the future of inclusive sports in that position?
So always about saying that I think we've tried something different these recently years. We're just making sure that if we focus on the grassroots level,
Hmm.
we'll bring these girls in. We make it so realistic that they commit only that one day. They don't need to have any kit. We'll provide the kit for them, the t-shirts. We'll give them hot food on the day, food and drinks. Ask their families to come along to spectate so they can see what sports is about. And at the same time, in our recent tournaments, we've been giving away free tickets to these girls so they can take their family to stadiums to watch the game for the first time ever.
Hmm.
Just memories and ways to bring them back into the sport. And if you look out there, there's so many initiatives and sports companies that will offer these amazing goodness, but they just can't find the right people who can direct these girls into it. So it gives me great pleasure where I can be that source of help, where I'm mentoring other people to get on board. There are young leaders that want to now run their own events, and we absolutely love doing that by supporting them and making that ideas that they have in the mind, making it a reality. So we'll bring in guests, special guests on the day. They'll be able to do an inspiration speech. They'll probably do a little trial of their sport, and it's so nice that the girls or the boys even have a get an insight of what other sports are about. By doing this, we're creating a bigger network. It's nice that we're feeling connected. We're all
Hmm.
together, and we know that we're all working towards the same goal. I always go back about the small young girl. She will be the service user. I want her to have a memory, a reason to why she picked up that bat, why she wanted to kick that ball, and why she took on sports, because she saw somebody like me or another sports star playing cricket or sports and got involved. So yes, it's open to everyone.
That's great. Now let's switch a little bit to other things that you advocate for. You've been a powerful advocate for vitiligo and mental health. What is it that motivated you to speak about those issues more openly?
I say mental health definitely I would always had advocate, because I come from a nursing background. I You become more resilient. I have a lot of patience toward a lot of difficult situations growing up. I also know that life can be hard. I come from a religion where we know hardships are part of life, and I felt like, yes, it's so important that we need to have the right mindset to go on to achieve goals and do good things. For me to talk about mental health is really important. I come from a background where I've got brothers that are autistic. My eldest sister, she's got learning disabilities, and she's also disabled. So I can see that, look, there's things around me that were difficult. I didn't think that even like losing my mom would actually make me even think about doing anything out the norm. It was my stepmom that encouraged me. She was really proud of me to play sports. I feel like we are in a position that we can teach the younger generation out there that there's no need for these negative thoughts about giving up, suicidal thoughts, or anything. I felt like I was in a good position where, with my skill asset, that I can support them and guide them and divert them away from that. Just even providing therapy. It's always a
Hmm.
great thing that you're speaking to someone. We grew up in a generation where we couldn't share everything with our family or with our parents without having consequences. So it's always good to have that support network.
Hmm.
With vitiligo, I 9 years ago, I was pregnant with my first baby. I had these changes on my skin. My grandma had vitiligo, my aunt had it, my brothers got it. I had these changes. It was really difficult. It just started on my neck, this pigmentation. It did worry me that how it's going to affect where I'm sitting in the light, in photos, and if anything. Um, it did spread all over my body. It was quite a difficult time for me. I think probably 2 years I didn't take a photo of myself. I didn't want to sit anywhere where anyone was going to have a camera in their hand. I found it so difficult. I didn't know how to deal with it. I went to camouflage clinic. I applied the makeup, but the what was blending in wasn't sitting right. Every time I would wash my face or have a shower, it'll all come off. So I was used to think, well, who am I trying to hide this from? What is the point of me covering something up? And it hit me. It hit me when I had a conversation with my husband and I said, look, this is hard. You know that, are you going to be accepting that I'm going to have this change of me? And all he said to me is, look, Salma, I could have had what you had. It could happen to me. Does that mean that I'm going to treat you differently? And it just made me realize, actually, the person that I'm with, my family member, if my partner is accepting of how the changes I'm going through and he's okay with it, then why am I worried about anyone outside of my home? So that helped me to become a bit more stronger, a bit more where I started to embrace my skin. I
Hmm.
enjoyed looking at saying, oh wow, I've got a new pigmentation today. This looks like this, and soon it's gonna turn lighter. It's one of those things where some marks will never fade away. They'll probably still be there. Even if I put makeup on, you'll see patches on my skin. These things will happen. If I don't embrace it tomorrow, my kids will be in a position, probably at school, to get bullied. I'm not sure if any of them might have the same skin condition as I do. I cannot show them that if I couldn't deal with it, how will they? So
Hmm.
it became a norm. And then I was really appreciated. I think there was a Barbie project and they had like all these dolls. And one of the doll was a wheelchair user, but one doll had vitiligo. And my kid said, look, mummy, she's like you. And I was like, wow, that was just amazing, like how that was portrayed, that
Hmm.
my kids even know what vitiligo means.
Hmm. That is amazing. And that approach to it, just making it more normal, and
Of
that's
course.
really helpful. A really good role model for your children as well. So, what
Yes.
about other initiatives such as Believe in Making a Difference, the MAD Productions? What kind of impact have you seen in the community based on that initiative?
So my with that initiative again, believe in making a difference was something that I did before Sporting Pathways. Again, that just comes from me of how we do things a bit differently. So we make sure that people will say, "Oh, okay, you don't have them that many funds to run this tournament or this festival or this event," and we were like, "It's okay, we'll manage. Doesn't matter. We provide the service to the people. We promise them." This is what they'll get, they will get. That's how we did it. And I think that about making a difference was about if at least one child or one girl will come away and say, you know what, I came and took part in your tournament. And that was the best thing I ever did. That's for us. It's about making a difference. We
Mhm.
initially we were doing tournaments, we were raising funds for Autistic Society, MenCap, all these learning difficulty, all these different charities while we were educating. So our participants were understanding a bit more about all these other conditions in the outside world to know, okay, I didn't know about cystic fibrosis, but because of your sporting initiative, now we know. So that's where Mad Productions came in to say, okay, we do things a bit different and we absolutely enjoy it.
That's amazing. That's really inspiring. Have you how I mean you're so doing so much of the community work that we've talked about. How are you balancing that demanding, healthcare role that you have, a hemodialysis nurse? How do you balance that with all this community work?
Oh, I've done it for years and years, and I think it's become definitely become part of my life. I think I have calmed down a lot. And there were times when I would do a 12-hour shift, and after my shift, I'll go for like a 2-hour training session, or I'll be coaching a group of girls. I'll go to a lunchtime session and coach the school club. I was doing a lot of things around the clock, and yes, it made me realize like I'm getting worn out. There is some goodness where you're trying to make it big, or you're trying to prove yourself and do things for others, but there's also nice to step back and actually say, do what you can when it's right. And I think I felt a bit more at ease when I was playing less of the competitive cricket because I walked into Northants County. They knew of who I am. I got to play cricket and play for another county. Absolutely loved it, but I didn't continue. I felt like, okay, I'm content with my life. I actually do enjoy making the opportunities for other people. Let the younger crowd now take over. Let the younger generation go and show us how it's done in the cricketing world. So these days, I'm actually happy to run the women and girls sections at cricket clubs, get the new startup systems running, help where the deprived areas where cricket isn't accessible, and we're trying to be a voice for the new kids to get into sports. So I enjoy doing that. I still do my nursing, so we work around it. And I'm
Mhm.
going to be grateful to my partner, my husband, who supports me in all what I do, and my kids. They do see it all happening, and hopefully, inshallah, they'll start getting into doing different sports.
Mm-hmm. So this, how is your balance? You talked about balance, and this is a question as a physician I ask everybody. Anyway, it's like, what is your either mental, physical wellness, routine? Obviously, you're in sports, so you have the physical activity portion of it already, but is there a particular way that you, balance or take care of like your self-care?
Oh yes, I think you gotta be wary of what you eat. You eat right, you eat good, you sleep on time. I feel like for me, a lot of people don't talk about this, but in the day and age that so much is happening, and we want to catch up on social media and everything, you go to bed at a good timely manner. You wake up early. You wake up
Mhm.
early to get your things done, and when you have that good routine, the day is set for you. I don't feel like it's right to waste time, and I always say how important time is. So while you eat good, or I don't really go to the gym. I think doing the sports is more than enough and keeping
Mhm.
me fit.
Mhm.
Do my work in nursing, I'm on my feet all day. But I think, yes, my mental health is so important. I need to mix with the right crowd. I have the right influence. We talk the right topics. But going to bed on time, I teach this to my kids as well. I don't feel like they should be awake past midnight. There's no need for that.
Mhm.
And when we can do all these things, we can actually, when I have a great start in life, we will achieve our goals the right way as well.
Great. True. Tell us about some of the events that you've hosted. Like you've hosted major sporting events like T10, the futsal, and the 50. And these large scale initiatives, what goes into organizing such an event?
Oh, they're easy to sit down and talk about and say, "Oh, I have an idea. Let's do this." It gets exciting, but when we are organizing, it's quite stressful. And sometimes I feel like I will happy to do one event per year because of the work that goes behind it, where we have to try to source out funding. If we're not got any funding, have we got any sponsors on board? I never know who will be my new collaboration partners, how much support we'll get, what type of team I'm working with, and then we're ordering items. These things can take a long time, a long process. And when a lot of things are not in your control, you're very worried because I always worry about presentation. I want to make sure that when my last event that I did, I want it bigger and better to my next event. And I always want to deliver for the people because I know that when I see some girls said they're going to travel 3.5 hours to get to my tournament, they're coming from either Manchester or Slough or London or Wales. If they're coming all these ways out for us, we need to make sure we provide the best possible opportunity for them. So for me, it's like it takes a long time, but I also don't let my personal life get involved. I never come home to say, "Oh, look, I'm so stressed out with my organization of this event or this project," because I feel like if the day I start doing that, then I know that I'm not enjoying doing the events that I'm setting out for other people. I need to also have a balance. So sometimes it's okay. I step away from it. Some days I say, today I'm not going to look at my agenda. Today I'm going to let things go.
Mhm.
Tomorrow I'll chase up the orders. It'll be fine. Things will fall into place on the day. So that's when I don't worry too much. But the feedback is amazing. I always appreciate what my participants will say, the service users, how they come back with the organizers that I work alongside with, just to learn from them, to teach them things. And it's been such a
Mhm.
pleasure in that I don't just do something in Birmingham. I can go anywhere in the country and run an event and not worry about how we do it. So that's been
Yeah.
like the greatest strength for us, where I can set that tone and work with a different team tomorrow and say, yes, we'll make it happen. And we do.
That's great having that experience that builds on itself. And so
Of
let's talk
course.
about another event, the Birmingham Commonwealth Games 2022. You were the ambassador and the hometown hero for that. How was that experience? Did you have any takeaways from that?
Oh yes, that was just mind blowing because you have a Commonwealth Games at your hometown, and then to have 14 of us, amazing sport personalities, people doing great things in the community. We were all selected as the 14 hometown heroes. They made a documentary about what we did behind the scenes, about what we achieved at this time of the year. I was actually expecting my fourth child, and I was like, oh my God, they've selected me and I'm going to be on TV or camera and I'm going to look all bloated and with a baby. And they said, actually, we're more than happy to have you and we want you because for the work that you've done, you need to be part of this. Birmingham is proud of you. We had the chance to take the baton to the Buckingham Palace where it was
Mm-hmm.
first taken. We were at the gates and we were a part of the presentation. We stayed over in London. It was just such a great experience. I had my mural created at the New Street station, and that was alongside a kickboxer, Hasiba Abdullah, and it was amazing, amazing experience that we became household names for that time of the year. We were household names that people knew about who we were and why Birmingham is such a city that we embrace
Mm-hmm.
sports, how encouraging it is, how safe it is, and having these 40 great athletes on board was just an eye opener for a lot of people around us, and I absolutely loved it. And then finishing off with carrying the baton home, so amazing, amazing time.
That's great. So tell us about some of the challenges that you faced. What are the biggest challenges that you faced on your journey, especially as a woman in sports and leadership?
I'm not sure, like with the biggest, I say that there's lots of smaller challenges, and a lot of the smaller challenges could be that when you make a break for yourself, where I used to be someone, I say it's a personal challenge for me. There's something where I was somebody growing up really shy. I wasn't outspoken. I didn't want to stand in front of the crowd. I didn't want to talk about things that I like doing because I came from a house where we just got along with things and I didn't really have someone to guide me to say, look, it's okay to stand up. I didn't never had that confidence or that self-esteem. So over the time of having this journey of playing sports and taking part and the goodness that I did and what I did for other younger girls. And I think while I was helping other people, I felt like this whole journey has helped me. So overall, the biggest challenge is just to be a voice for other people, that I got myself into public speaking.
Hmm.
I delivered a talk to 500 people many years ago. Absolutely loved sitting on the panel and talking about it. But if you asked me during my teenage years, would you want to be that girl? I would be like, no, please do not look at me. I don't want to be that girl. But I still sometimes and some days have that insecurities. And I would give hats off to the girls out there that are so confident in their skin, and they can be happy with how they look on camera and how
Hmm.
they sound. But sometimes you grow up to knowing that I never did it for all this, but I appreciate that this sport and doing the great things in life allows you to be that voice for others.
Yeah. So how did you say any of these self-doubts? You said like you mentioned, you went and practiced in public speaking. How did you overcome any other moments of self-doubt or any setbacks if you had along the way as you,
I,
you know,
I think a lot of the
progressed?
time, a lot of it was when you play a lot of cricket, you've got to be up against a challenge, your opponent, you're not always going to have a good game. You've got to speak up for yourself. And those challenges are where if you don't speak up for yourself, you're going to be pushed to the background. You're going to be that invisible child no one's going to see. And that was the only way for me to step up. I was in a place on my own. I didn't have my family to speak for me. It was only me because I chose to do something where, while I was fighting a battle with my family to prove a point that I'm going to do well in sports, I was in sports, but I wasn't being acknowledged. So these were two different challenges that I didn't want to mix, because if I did tell my family that, look, I'm not being selected as I thought I was good, but I'm not that good, they would have said, actually, you know what, then stop playing altogether. But
Hmm.
that challenge would kept me going to say, look, you know what? I have no choice, but I have to start speaking. I have to start getting out there. And the smaller talks, the smaller get-togethers, and the networking helped me to start sharing my story, and it really, really clicked.
Well, that's great. So you just got more comfortable
Yeah,
and used to it as you get along. So
yeah.
outside of all of this that you do, is there free time and what do you do? What do you enjoy, for fun?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You gotta have a balance in life. You can't be saying that you've got a deadline to meet all the time. If you do that, then I think you don't become, you're not who you are.
Hmm.
You're trying to prove something that doesn't need to really exist. And life is so short, like we say, everything here is temporary, and this is dunya. But when I do take my time out, oh, I absolutely love a bit of movie time with my kids. My eldest child, she absolutely loves sitting and watching movies with me. I love cooking at home, prepping things for the guests. We go out, we have our family days, so you need to have a balance.
Right. Exactly. Very, very important. Um, and what do you, if you were not doing what you're doing now, your sports and healthcare, what other career path would you have chosen, you think?
I think I almost became a lawyer. I did the
Mhm.
legal executive course. I started off in the first year. I really enjoyed that. I thought, yes, I liked all these case studies. Believe it or not, I still have my paperwork from my
Mhm.
college days. I've kept it. I'm so passionate about it. I enjoyed property law, criminal law, everything. I absolutely enjoyed all that, and I'm quite got a knack for it. If I had to look into it, I do like
Mhm.
watching the documentaries, understanding about law. So that's something I probably would have gone into, but I feel like no, the drive and passion was in medicine. It was in looking after my patients,
Mhm.
taking their duas, doing something good for them to feed back to me to say, you're a nice person, or you've done something nice for me. I find that, we are human. End of the day, we are human, and for us to go and visit the sick is part of our sunnah anyway. So I absolutely love that. I think I you always gotta stay humble. You always gotta go back to where you've come from.
Mhm.
So I feel like, if I treat these patients like my family, like my own, I wish like my mom,
Mhm.
then, Allah is watching. So that's what I absolutely love doing.
Mhm. That's great. What is your secret to your success? Would you say if there is a secret sauce? Uh, what is the secret behind your success so far and everything
If
you've
if
done?
it if it is a secret, it's I think about perseverance, never giving up,
Mhm.
never backing down. If you want something so bad in your life and you know it's right, there's nothing wrong with it, then don't back down.
Mhm.
I'll be there to speak up for those younger girls out there who are struggling, if their parents are against it, I'm happy to speak up for them. I'm happy to say, look, actually, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with what they want to do. Give them a chance, give them a try. We all do have fears. I'm a parent myself. I don't know what my child would get into, or I'm not going to be there at all times. They've got to face things on their own. It's a big world out there, but if we don't, we're here in this world, and if we don't see it for ourselves and we don't make the most of it, then I don't know what purpose we have. Apart from doing the same routine. So it's nice to be different and unique.
Mm,
And if something makes you stand out, I'll definitely want you to go and do it over and over again.
it's true. What is your long-term vision then for diversity and inclusion in sports on a global level?
On a global level, yeah, I think always like I will always tell my story to the world. I will always talk about it. Always provide those opportunities. We'll always go back to the simple things. Less school halls could be empty. The small kit providers might run out, and everyone likes to see the big guns. And it's so nice to see the big guns, but they've all come from somewhere. They have that pressure of performing. They have pressure to work under the lights and make everything look nice, bright, fancy. But remember about that young kid that wanted to play sports, but probably got injured, probably suffered. So you go back to that. You go back to the younger crowd or the grassroots level. So on a global level, if I could be someone where I'm doing talent pooling, if I become a sports agent, who knows? I want to be in that position where advocate and direct people in the right direction and say, look, there's a pathway for you. Let's get you on board. Let's empower you. Let's kit you up and let's give you a chance at this. So if I can be that person, I'll be more than happy to highlight the talent and that potential in these youngsters out there. I will do that for them.
That's great. Is there any particular advice that you want to give to young women who aspire to break barriers like you have in sports and leadership?
Like I said before about not giving up.
Mm,
I'm inspired every day by other people when they tell me their story. I was last night at the awards night, and there was a really good friend of mine, and she said, Salma, I had five older sisters. They all got married, they all settled down. I was like the black sheep. I stood up and said, look, I don't want to get married. I want an education. She went on and became a PhD lecturer. She's absolutely happy for what she did in her life. Only later than her sisters saw her story and followed her footsteps and did their courses and got their really great jobs. But I would always go back to these girls that don't just think that I'm someone who's got a story to tell because I'm at such a platform. I was once where you are, and everyone has a story to tell. And it's so nice that I'm learning from other people every day. I'm being inspired. There's days that I'm not going to have good days. There's days I'm going to forget of all the achievements I have. These trophies, these awards, they do they are collected, they sit on a shelf. We appreciate and there's credit for them. There's a story to tell about them, but don't give up. And I feel like do more for others. And I think a lot of people don't do enough of this. A lot of people gatekeep. Let's try doing this. Let's embrace each other's achievements. There's nothing wrong with celebrating. Recently, my two friends, Hina and Kiki, they went to collect my award at the Sporting Equals event when I couldn't go. They collected my community award. For them, it was a night to remember because they got to go on stage. They did a speech for me. I don't think I could have done a better job than they did. And I felt that amazing feeling on their behalf to know that we are all part of this. We're all one big community. So why can't we support each other? And that's what this is about. Let's all uplift each other. There's not about like, oh, just because she'll get through and she'll make it big, I don't have a chance. Who knows? I play
true.
in a team sport and we can't do nothing without being together as a team.
Right. Is there any other final message that you'd like to share to the global Desi community watch that might be watching this show? I think you kind of just
Um,
said it right there. Just kind of like we can
yeah, I
all
feel like
aspire to work together.
I've said quite a
Yeah.
lot. I think to my Desi community or anyone, I don't feel like I just belong just to the one. And this
Right.
is something where I say, if I'm Pakistani, I'm just gonna think about the Pakistani girls or a brown girl or someone with vitiligo or my nursing group. I want to speak to anyone, even the boys, the young boys out there. There's young kids out there for anyone who wants to take up sports, because we also need to nurture the younger boys to be grown up gentlemen, to be men, to be providers and supporters for their wives, but also to be the right partners where they know if their wife wants to play into sports, they're going to be good supporters for her. So we want those personalities on board as well.
That's great. Thank you so much. It's very inspiring. And well, wish you all the best in continued success. And I'm sure your kids are gonna learn a lot and follow their own paths. So wish you and your family the best. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.